Hi everyone, Janette here, obviously from Case Flower School. So I see a couple of people are asking questions about foliage and what type of foliage they could grow in their own garden, or even if they're going to purchase foliage, what sort of foliage is the best one to purchase. So I have a couple of samples here in front of me. Now I'm obviously not a horticulturist, so listen, anybody that knows about plants, I'd absolutely be delighted if you wanted to post any information about growing plants, maybe garden centres that have them for sale, prices, any top tips and tricks that you know about what types of soil. I'd really appreciate any help there. So really, I'm talking about maybe just going out to the garden, picking the foliage, or maybe going to your local flower shop, or if there is anybody watching here that's from a flower shop, you're obviously going to be buying it in wholesale. So the first one I'll talk about is the eucalyptus, and you've probably seen eucalyptus is probably one of my favourite foliage. And even at home I have a eucalyptus tree growing, and Deirdre has two types of eucalyptus. So there's, again, I'm not sure the exact number, but there's lots and lots of different varieties of eucalyptus. Some of it with the larger leaf, the smaller leaf, the kind of more silvery one, the one that's strongly scented. There's lots of different varieties. And again, anybody that's watching there, feel free to comment below with your suggestions of ones that you would recommend, you know what I mean, like say people to grow. But eucalyptus is really easy to grow. It grows really, really tall. They always say it's a flower arranger's dream. The more you cut it, the more you grow, the more it grows. And as I said, it does grow exceptionally high, but from a flower ranger's point of view, we never let it grow high because we're constantly chopping it and cutting it all the time. Great lasting foliage. If you're storing foliage, so if you do cut foliage, store it outside. Don't store it in your house or in your kitchen, whatever. Store it in a bucket of water, obviously, outside, recut the ends of it, change the water quite regular. You will find with foliage that there's always leaves in the water. It's very hard to clean the foliage stems down as clean as you would the flowers. So what happens is bacteria grows faster. So bleach out the buckets like I suggested before. If you do have flower food, put it into the water, it'll stop the bacteria growing, but maybe change the water every 4 to 5 days rather than leaving it the full week. So another type of foliage you want to talk about, and again, like anybody has any suggestions, definitely comment below. I bought this foliage and I haven't picked it. So this is Pittosporum, and when we're buying it in, like say from our foliage farms, sometimes we buy it in as mixed foliage. But even at home in my own house, I have the variegated Pittosporum, and the one I have gets like a tiny, tiny little pink flower, like a kind of a sticky flower. So again, anybody has botanical names, feel free to post them underneath. So this is your variegated Pittosporum, and this can be lovely in wedding work. And then we have our plain green Pittosporum. Deirdre has one of these growing in her garden. Now I love this, like we're getting really tall straight pieces, you can see there, like for tall arrangements, for church arrangements. I will use this quite a lot for church arrangements, like for getting a great shape on a funeral spray. It's a brilliant foliage. So again, definitely worth planting, or again, if you know some of your neighbours that has one growing, that maybe you could take a few snips of it. And another one which I love, I have one of these growing at home, is the Tom Thumb. Now, the Tom Thumb is obviously the miniature version of the Pittosporum, but this isn't obviously the miniature one. This is obviously the tall one, because you can see there it's really, really tall, the branches of it. Where the one I have at home would be a fraction. It's really, really small and it's very slow growing. But I call this the Tom Thumb, as in the black, would you call it burgundy, winey, browny, kind of like coloured Pittosporum. I love this with pink flowers. It's beautiful. I use it in wedding work. I use it in all types of flower arrangements. I use it in my hand-tied bouquets. And again, it's a good lasting foliage. Just watch when it's shooting and you'll kind of see it normally starts kind of like green. Don't cut it when it's green. Wait till it actually goes black. And the last one I want to talk about is the silver Sussex. Again, big favourite here at the school. It is hard to get a silver Sussex plant in a garden centre. So if we do have any garden centres watching there, please comment below with your phone number that you are growing them, or not selling them even, and that maybe people could contact you. Because I know we had a problem before, and it was actually one of our students got us, I think, 4 or 5 silver Sussex plants, and we now have them grown up in Deirdre's garden. And they're still slow growing. We cut a little bit off them this year, But I'd say next year they will be absolutely flying. This is a great foliage. It lasts for ages. It just ends up, instead of dying, it dries out. So it can look well in, like, say, your wreaths, your door wreaths, whether it be spring, summer, autumn, winter, Christmas time. It's just a brilliant foliage. I use it in wedding work. It's brilliant with blue flowers, especially if you want to kind of bring a silvery tinge into your bouquets. But to be honest, it works with all colours, works with pink as well, but definitely works kind of really well with the blues. So hopefully that's given you a few little tips and tricks there about foliage. As I said, I can't really advise you on the growing end of it. It's not really my expertise, but I am hoping a lot of you here in the Flowery Fun group, you know a lot more information. So again, comment underneath. Have a great day.